Welcome to the latest market summary. This is Eric Mwadhi from Mwadhi.com. We can see markets are called higher for the day and also for the week, and we can see that the cryptos are up nicely. Bitcoin is up about 5% and Ethereum is up about 2.5%. This analysis is going to be shorter than the usual one I have on the weekends because I will not be able to record a Friday edition. This is a Thursday edition video. All right, so we can see the S&P 500 first and foremost on the weekly. Just want to sensitize you to the fact that for the week, S&P 500 is pushing above 50 on its weekly RSI, and because of that, it means that net by the end of Friday's session, don't be surprised that the market is going to be hanging on to most of these gains for the week. That's the takeaway there. And also, given the line I've just drawn here, there's also consideration going into the new week that the market is going to have to contend with this trend line on the price based on the weekly closing highs going back to late 2021. So either we're going to get the market moving above this, which is going to attract more institutional buying, or we are going to be rejected here in the short term and we see a pullback as far as the market is concerned. That's the weekly for the S&P 500. On the monthly for the SPX, let's not forget S&P 500 monthly as of this moment is also pushing its monthly RSI above 50, and because of that, it means that for the month, there is a bias that the S&P 500 should close higher for the month and close with a nice gain for the month, relatively closing towards the month highs, as long as the monthly RSI is above 50. Remember, I've been saying for a while that as long as we are above 50 on the S&P 500 monthly, chances are we are going to be sideways to higher, and in good time, we might actually go back to test the recent all-time highs from late 2021, and not only test those all-time highs, but as long as SPX is above 50 on the monthly, chances of breaking out and recording fresh all-time highs on the S&P 500 is now back on the table. The NASDAQ on its weekly chart has this trend line that we've been following, and as we go into the new week, so we're either going to get a push above this line to continue with this recovery of this attempted breakdown to fresh lows. So we can see net the market held this area here, looked like we were going to break down, but it has since coiled higher, and that is from this support line here. We held that and the market is now coiling higher. So net we are still within this wedging pattern, and if I was to draw it again, we can see that the market is going to decide eventually whether to break out or break down from this wedge pattern. Of course, if you're bullish, you'd want to see the market break out above this range so it can continue moving higher, or eventually break down if you're bearish. That's the signal you want to see. Right now, looks like net, I would say the market is leaning towards movement to the upside, but we shall see. On the 4-hourly for the Dow or the 195-minute chart, we can see that if the Dow is going to stall, here is where it's going to stall in the short term. It's from this break here of early December highs. Draw the uniformity line, a principle by yours truly. We can see here we tagged this towards about December 13th, 14th, and we stalled and we were pushed down. So you can see that even here, market is coming to test this level here. So if we end up rejected again, of course, the indication here is that anticipate that the next hour-to-hour swing trade is to the downside in the short term. What the bulls want to see is see the market clear this line here so we can advance beyond December highs. In the new week, if you're looking for a reason for a market pullback, let me give you the Dow Transports on the weekly. This is 3 years of weekly data, and I'll take the highs here from 2021, extend it out as such. It is similar to that of the NASDAQ in that we are now coming back to test the top side of this line. Of course, you'd want it to clear and move higher week to week if you're bullish, and if you're bearish, you'd be encouraged when we see resistance, which might indicate coiling back. Also, there's a line connecting these lows of early 2020 and this lows here late 2021 on the transports. Actually, it is this lows here. We can connect those two lines and we're going to get a backtest line that should be something like that right there. And what we get here is good indication where the market failed here on the line, which is this pullback zone. Turns into resistance, which is here, and now I'm going to extend the same line and see how it becomes relevant in the current market as such. So notice that we break down here back below the line for this pullback zone, and here back below it for this pullback zone, and so we are ending the week, or going to be ending the week somewhere around there. So that could be resistance. So again, the two lines that could offer a challenge going into the new week are the backtest line. In my opinion, markets needs to clear this line here, and also the top side line on the weekly for the Dow Transports needs to be cleared. Otherwise, it too could offer resistance and a reason for a week-to-week pullback as far as transports and the general market is concerned. Of course, bulls want the market to clear this range, the two lines, that is. By the way, it's a market that we should absolutely be playing breakouts. We can see here, these are some of the breakouts that I have been highlighting for paid subscribers to my website. Here, a good breakout in December. Remember, at this time, the NASDAQ was making an attempt to fresh lows here late 2022. And we can see even this week, I gave the breakout alert here in this range, and the stock is up for the week a good 30%, 31%. So breakouts are coming back in fashion. And so I would say one needs to pay attention to what is moving. And even the leaders from last year, for example, this was one of the best stocks in 2022. Again, there was a couple of breakouts here. We were able to capture both breakouts here. And we can see even beginning the year, the stock is adding on to the gain from 2022 and continue to push high. For the week, it is up almost 20%. So again, we can see here a breakout here by this instrument, which is also in the energy space. It broke out again late in December, another breakout alert that was issued for clients and is looking to break out again. So remember, this is part of the energy space, which I should mention the energy space here by taking a look at the XLE on the monthly. Remember, the buy point for XLE, as we've been discussing and tracking, is 90.22. So if the XLE can break out successfully, that breakout is going to just add more fuel to the leaders from last year, which was in the energy and gas space. And we can see this. So buy point of 90.22 is needed to be clear to the upside by the XLE if we're going to see continued push in the leaders from last year. And don't forget, again, some stocks are taking off. So even though the market has been bearish, some stocks have already shown that this market has an appetite for blasting some instruments higher. This instrument broke out in December, and again we can see another breakout this very week. So I would say these leadership stocks are still, in fact, there's gonna be an increase in the number of breakout alerts as long as the market continues to be stable. Breakouts are back in favor. And remember, this was a stock that was trading at $40 lows here in December and broke out at 60, is now trading at 120, all within a month or so. Take a look at this stock. It peaked in, let's call it late 2020, has seen a big drop over the last couple of years, but something has changed. This market is now favoring stocks moving higher. You can see for the month so far of January 2023, the stock is already up 90+%. And if you understand how to time the crossover between the 13-week and the 34-week moving average, those are classic breakout right there. And in fact, if we take a look at the daily, we see it more clearly. As I discussed this method called the Moire Virgin breakout, you got a flattening out 200-day moving average, an upward coiling 50-day moving average. Your buy point is right here at about under 7, let's call it 780. Stock is already trading close to $14, almost a double since the breakout from the first trading day of 2023. So yes, breakouts are in play. It so happens it's what I have specialized in for the last 20 years. Taking a look at the Nifty this week, it's been down so far, but I think, as I mentioned last week, it's still within this potential. You can see here, I would say there was a breakout a couple weeks ago. A couple months ago in October here, this breakout is still within the potential of becoming support. This support should be above RSI 50 on the weekly, which means it's a nice pullback, potentially with the probability of going higher. That's the weekly for the Nifty. Taking a look at the BankNifty daily, in my opinion, this seems okay. We can see coming off the lows right here in June, middle of June 2022. We can draw the line right there, and we can see that using the uniformity concept, we held here and we coiled higher. We bounced with uniform activity here, hence the method is called uniformity, for another move higher here, and we're within this range. I would say as long as we hold this range on the Bank Nifty, we might be looking for a market that has pulled back, a nice healthy pullback before it goes higher. And then there's also this line. It would need to break this line here before it can really go down. So I would say net sideways to higher. Keep in mind we're trading where we have an upward to flattening out 50-day moving average. The 200-day moving average is pointing higher. I would say net even the Bank Nifty is sideways to higher in the coming days and probably going into the coming weeks. For the week, we can see Bitcoin is up on a weekly time frame about 10%, and we shouldn't be too surprised. Why? Because we've been talking about this area for many months, and it seems like it is playing out favoring the bulls. There was a wedging pattern here that we discussed for many months. This was wedging for almost 6 months, and now we seem to be popping out of that wedge, and as I said, it is favoring the bulls, hence the 10% gain in BTC. Remember, on the weekly, I've been discussing this idea that this is where the MACDs were stalling recently, and looks like the MACDs also want to move above the range where they've been stalling and where they stalled for the entire 2022 timeframe. And also movement above zero on the MACD should ignite another strong push higher in the cryptos. Keep in mind, as the daily is concerned right now, on the daily, you can see BTC seeing a nice day up about 7.6%. Why? Because the RSI on the daily right now is moving above that magic threshold of 69.1. And so it is.